I got some super, super awesome guests that's going to join me today. And we're going to talk about how credit is so, so important. And we're going to also talk about East Tampa. But most importantly, it's all about that credit. So let me go ahead and introduce my special guest. She is the CEO of Bonafide Credit Consulting LLC. She's been in the industry for a long, long time. She is also a banker, and her name is none other than Miss Pamela McCoy. Pamela, are you there?
Hi, Drew. I am well. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining. You better tell this listening audience a little bit about yourself. It's all yours. Go ahead.
All righty. Well, just a little bit about me. As Drew said, I have been in the credit arena for almost 30 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but all aspects of credit and finance, from underwriting, customer service, collections, fraud, probate, you name it, I've done it as it relates to credit. I also partner with some nonprofits, so I've been involved in the homebuyer education arena, teaching those classes so that the participants can get what we refer to as the golden ticket, if you will, which will garner them access to funding that's available for first-time home buyers. In addition to the finance side of my business, which is the bona fide side of my business, I also have another division, the B5 Reaffirm, where we focus on mental health, but specifically low self-esteem of females. So really excited about that new business venture that's going well. I'm delighted to be here, Drew, to share with your audience all things credit. And when I think about the two sides of my business, though there are different approaches, really, they're not really mutually exclusive, because if you're not in a good mental headspace, then you don't make good financial decisions. And so though they're different divisions, they all are one and have a common goal of, providing tools to the individuals or families or persons that we're blessed to serve, providing them tools that will allow them to be the best versions of themselves, both on the money side as well as on the mind side. So
Come on
again,
now.
I'm delighted to be
Preach it.
here.
I love it. I love it. So if anyone's just now tuning in, I am speaking with Pamela McCoy. She is the CEO of Bonafide Credit Consultant LLC. So what inspired you to start this Bonafide and most recently the B5 Reaffirm?
Well, I think probably underarching is always my desire to serve. My faith is very important to me. And of course, in that, that old saying, too much is given, much is required. My professional landscape and ventures that I've been on really prepared me for this walking in my purpose, as I call it, and being able to provide education. So the motto for the bona fide side of my business is to educate, to empower, to evolve, to enlighten, and enrich. And with that, when you apply those principles, financial freedom is really literally right in the palm of your hand. So it's really important, for me to educate. That's why that is the first of the 5 E's, because when we understand, when we know better, we do better, right? And no one intentionally wants to be in an adverse situation, right? And so to be able to be that beacon of light, if you will, to provide them what they need to maneuver through that gauntlet of, if it is bad debt, if it's bad credit, all of those things, to put them on a firm financial footing, to open up, the plethora of leverage and opportunities that good credit will allow them to have.
I love it. I
And
love it. Go ahead. You were saying.
like it is that mental esteem in what you think and how you feel about yourself is paramount in every decision that you make, whether it's financial, buying a home, buying a car, fixing your credit. It all starts with your mindset. And so I like to say that when I'm presenting, I am the MSI, and people often, well, what is that? They've heard of the FBI, the CIA, all these other acronyms, but I'm their MSI for the time that we have together. And what that is, I'm your mind shift initiator, right? I can't make you do different, but my goal is that I will provide you tools, some thought-provoking things that will shift your mindset in thinking about things differently. And so certainly when you think about things differently, you react, you respond, you do differently.
Right. When you change the way you see things, the things you see will change. You're absolutely
I like
correct.
that. Yes.
So let me just tell the listening audience, this broadcast is brought to you by none other than Carmina and Associates Realty Group. We are a full service brokerage. What that means is we're here 24/7 to answer any and all questions that perhaps you may have if you're wanting to relocate here in the Tampa Bay area or Clearwater, St. Pete, Bradenton, any of those areas. We cover all 5 counties and we do what we do. So, Pamela, please tell me what's the motto of the Bonafide Credit Consultant?
Like I was saying, the 5 E's, these are fundamental principles, because when you are educated, of course, it changes your perspective on everything. You take that new knowledge and it will empower you to do different things, changing. That's the evolution part, changing what you do, how you do, why you do, and when you do, right? And that enlightenment, one of the other important components bona fide is that generational transfer. And so the knowledge that you gain is not just for you, it is for your family, it is for your friends, it is by default there for your community, right? Because we're only as strong as our weakest link. And so if we can strengthen that link, then the whole chain becomes stronger. And then, of course, lastly, enriching. When you have this valuable knowledge, your life is enriched forever. And not just your life, but the life of your family, generationally speaking. And far too often, what we leave in terms of legacy is debt, right? Debt and bad decisions and all of that. And so when you know better, you do better. And the goal is that we leave this legacy. Instead of leaving this legacy of debt, how powerful would it be to leave a legacy of knowledge? And so what I say when people attend my workshops and seminars, it doesn't matter your age, right? If you are 25 or 55, my goal is always the same, and that is that you get it. And what I mean by that, you have a clear understanding of how money works and being able to leverage. What is your credit score? What is all that stuff all about? And what does it mean to have a good credit score? What is the value in having all of that? And so if you are 25 and you get it, that's great. If you're 55 and you get it, how about that's great too? Because if you're 55 plus, all that means is your time horizon to really benefit from that new knowledge is shorter than if you were to get it at 25. But most importantly, for both age ranges, is that you don't keep that knowledge, you share that knowledge, because generational transfer will put our communities, put our families, put our nation on a whole entirely different trajectory as it relates to economics. But it all starts with shifting your mindset and how you look at things and doing things different to get different outcomes.
That is outstanding. Generational transfer.
Yeah,
Energy's never lost, it's transferred. I love
absolutely.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. So, who are your target clients?
Well, on the bona fide side, the financial capability education side, it truly is any one individual or organization that is really ready to shift their mindset, because I can teach you, but I can't make you, right? And so what I say to all my clients, when it's all said and done, when the interaction's over, we're going to have an action plan. That's the outcome that we're looking for. And that action plan is related to, of course, whatever goals that you have decided that you wanted to reach. But an action plan is 2 words, and me and the party, we are this partnership. And I am the plan part of that, but they are the action part. And so if you're not ready, willing, and able to put action to the plan, then the plan has no value, right? It's just words on a piece of paper. And so they have to be ready to put in the work. And as I often say, success only comes before work in the dictionary. Every other place, you're going to have to put in the work to accomplish success, however you define that to be. And so, my target audience is really anyone who's ready. On the B5 reaffirm side, not to forget about the fellows, because I know that they have their challenges in this area of self-esteem as well. But B5 reaffirm at this time solely focuses on females and giving them tools that they need to really empower them in their own power, and tonight, all that I need, I already have, reminding them in some cases and teaching in others that you have that inner strength, right? And I think there's an old saying that says, you never know how strong you are until strength is all you have, right? And so it's really important that we learn our uniqueness and learning the value that we have to offer this world, this universe, in our uniqueness, right? And so it doesn't matter that someone does what it is that you aspire to do or whatever. No one can be you but you. And so the B5, what that stands for, is a bona fide boss with brains, beauty, and a believer in me. And that is the purpose, the mission, the mantra that I want females to not only learn to be able to state it, but to embrace it, right? To believe, for them to know that they know that they know beyond a shadow of a doubt, no matter what the world and other people are trying to tell them or convince them that they are, that they really know for themselves that they are a B5, which is a bona fide boss with brains, beauty, and a believer in self. And that's really all that you need, because at the end of the day, everyone has an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But when it comes to the opinion about you, the individual, the most important, but not only the most important, but the only opinion that matters is the opinion that you have about yourself. And so I need that to be strong, confident that you are, in fact, a B5.
Well, go ahead on and say it. You are definitely a boss. I love this energy. At the end of the day, women got to see themselves more than looking good in a skirt or a pair of jeans. It's all about the leadership.
All about your mindset. It all starts here.
Right. Yeah. It's all about understanding that they are influence, right?
Absolutely.
In everything that they do.
Everything, all aspects of their life. So it's not, unilateral. It's not just this one thing. It's multifaceted, just as we are as humans. We have so much to offer, right? We're not a one-trick pony, as they say. Like, we have a lot going on, and we can claim it and be the boss in all of that. But it all starts with how you think and feel about you. And even, you're talking about Carmina and Associates and all that they do in terms of assisting people with regards to home purchasing and transferring and moving to a new area, all of those kind of things. All of that starts with your mindset, right?
It does.
And so deciding, and what I say to my clients as it relates to bad or poor financial decisions or decisions otherwise in life, really the only value in visiting your past mistakes is to learn the lesson. When you learn the lesson, you got to move on. You got to press forward, right? And so if your credit's not where it needs to be to purchase that dream home, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that it's impossible, and it doesn't mean denial. It just means delayed, right? So you got to put in the work, right? And so, reaching out to Carmina and Associates to be able to get someone to aid you through this gauntlet, where their dream home is at the end of the road, right. You need to reach out to them.
Right. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about those companies that perhaps wanting to create more value within the workplace. How can you provide a curriculum, or most importantly, how can you make that impact with those companies or individually?
Well, I think, from the company's perspective, it needs to be a forward-thinking organization. And what I mean by that is that they see their employees beyond just an employee, right? So not just your skill set, so you're bringing to the company, but wanting to invest in their associates, their employees, as a human being, as a family member, as a community contributor, or what have you, a holistic approach, right? Because again, even on your job, if you're not in a good mental headspace, that impacts your job performance, right? And in some cases, depending on the job, it truly is a matter of life and death. And what I mean by that is, say you've got a police officer right? They're drowning in debt. They're worried about the car is going to be repossessed off the parking lot. The house is about to go in foreclosure. Oh, people are going to know, that kind of thing. And
Right.
so your mind is reeling, but how about you're in the throes of this crime, right? And your partner is counting on you to have their back. So they can't afford for you to be split minded, thinking about this over here when I need you thinking about this right here, because that could cost that person their life. In the scenario of a surgeon, right? All that same stuff I was talking about, the car repossession, the foreclosure, all that could be going on, but they got a scalpel in their hand getting ready to cut into you. How about you need them 100% focused on
Right.
what it is they're about to do? And
Right.
so it is paramount. And so for an employer to recognize that and want to pour into their employees to make them the best version of themselves, not only does the employer benefit in terms of productivity is up, accuracy is where it needs to be, but morale is up as well. And even though it's not really a scenario of a tit for tat, you did this for me, so I owe you kind of thing, but subconsciously we all kind of reside in that place that says, you know what, Drew did something really nice for me. And if ever I have an opportunity to do something nice for Drew, like it's not even a thought, like you just do it, not out of obligation, you just do, right? And so your employee is going to really appreciate that you saw them beyond just this widget maker or whatever. You saw them beyond that. And you said, you know what? I'm gifting you this benefit that's going to change your life. Because again, when you get your finances in order, it's not just for you and about you. It positively impacts you. It positively impacts your family. And then by default, it positively impacts community, right? And so it's like that dropping a stone in a pond, that ripple effect. And so if an employer can see and desire to be that pebble, right, we all will benefit tremendously by that decision to do that. So, from an employer standpoint, as for Bonafide, what we do, money is money is money, a dollar is a dollar is a dollar, no matter who's
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. But what we do is we customize all of our workshops based on the audience. And so we would get input from whoever the client is as to the level of knowledge to some degree of the potential participants. And we structure the workshops around that knowledge, because again, my end game, my goal in every workshop or seminar that I do is that the audience gets it. And so to do that, you have to speak their language, so to speak. And so, one audience, you have to teach it a slightly different than you teach another audience, but the facts are still the facts. It's just all in the delivery. And so that's what you get when you hire Bonafide Credit Consultants LLC on the financial capability education side. And if it is about, strengthening self-esteem or what have you, that's exactly what you get on the B5 Reaffirm side. We've got a seminar, we've got the outer workings, the outline is there, but I collaborate with the client to put the meat on the bone so that it's tasty for that particular audience, right? So
Right. 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 I love it. So, listening audience, you gotta go ahead and give Pamela McCoy a call. You can reach her at 813-495-8508. That's 813.
8568.
I'm sorry, that's 813-495-8568. And
Yes.
be certain to reach out to her, and she
Or they
will
can visit the two
definitely.
websites. I've got the bonafidecc.com. That's for the financial capability education side of the business. Or you can go to www.b5 Reaffirm for the self-esteem. If you want to purchase the B5 reaffirmation box and that programming, all of that, you can do that via the B5 Reaffirm website.
Real quickly, because we're going to have to recapitulate what we talked about, give them those 5 qualities, core values again.
It is to educate, to empower, to evolve, to enlighten, and enrich. And financial freedom will be right in the palm of your hand.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. So, if anyone should sign up,
Mm-hmm.
what would they learn, Pamela? What would they get out of your curriculums?
Oh my goodness, we're going to get, fundamental, right? But I'm going to meet the audience where they're at. So once I kind of have an idea of the knowledge level, that will tell me where to start, right? So we can meet them where they're at and build from there. But they'll learn terminology. They'll learn about their credit report, their credit score, how to not only just pull it and put it in a drawer, because that has no value. The value comes when you pull it and you interpret it, right? And what it means, because this is, if you will, this is the ruler that creditors are going to use to measure you in their decision-making process. And so it's really important that you understand that. And again, if your credit score is not where it needs to be for this goal that you have, i.e. purchasing a home or what have you, doesn't mean that you won't ever be a homeowner. It just means that you got to put in a little bit of work ahead of time. And it makes sense to do it ahead of time than to go in and know that you're going to get a denial because you're not ready. And so, you know, they're going to learn all about their credit score. They're going to get tools that they're going to be able to immediately implement, that's going to allow them to fuel their financial potential, if you will, to give them a solid fundamental foundation as it relates to their finance. And as I've said, you know, information and tools that they can transfer generationally to have an ongoing legacy impact of their family, of their community.
Ongoing legacy and impact to their family. That's what I'm talking about. So, the listening audience, I am here with Pamala McCoy, and she is the CEO of Bonafide Credit Counseling, LLC. And I really want to thank everyone that's listening. This broadcast is brought to you by none other than Camina and Associates Realty Group. We are a full service brokerage. And what that means is if you're relocating, if perhaps 5 of the counties you're wanting a home or wanting something either on the MLS or not even posted on the MLS, we're able to provide that service for you. So certainly be certain to give us a call here at Camina and Associates Realty Group. So, Pam, we got about 2 minutes here, and I really want to recapitulate to everyone that's maybe just now tuning in. Let's go to the very top and give them an overview. What's your purpose? And then secondly, how they can achieve these results. And then mainly, it's all about empowering them to know that they can find their best you. Go ahead.
Right.
It's on you, Pam.
So my purpose is truly to serve, to give and share and educate, empower, evolve, enlighten, and enrich, to allow them to understand the females in the house that they are a bona fide boss with brains, beauty, and believing in self is all that you really need to press forward. You know, it is my mission, my goal to really just be that beacon of light. You know, someone refers to me as an empowerment, exemplary empowerment. So I just, that is my goal. And if asked, why do I do what I do in a word, that word is impact. And what I mean by that is that whomever's path that I cross, whether it's a smile, a conversation, a hug, or whatever it is that their life is better in some way because our paths have crossed. And so that I've had some kind of positive impact. And so that's why I do what I do. None really other than that. And walking in my purpose is just fuels my passion. And my passion is just to see people be the best version of themselves. And if I can have a little part in that, then that's a win-win for both of us. And so again, I'm delighted to have been here to share this time with you guys. You know, the folks can reach me, they can call me, they can text me, they can go to the website and fill out the contact forms, they can email me, they can send a pigeon. I'm here to help. Just reach out, and that's for individuals or organizations. And delighted to do what I can do to put you on that path.
Lastly, we got about 30 seconds here, Pam. Why don't you share with the listening audience perhaps some of your clients you've worked with, and so they can get a better overview of what it is you do?
Wow. Well, I have to just tout one of my near and dear to my heart. I have a partnership with the Girl Scouts you know, and that is just huge for me to be able to have that far of a reach, impacting the lives of young females But again, the B5 Reaffirm is not an age thing. When you talk about self-esteem, it's not an age thing, it's a self thing. And so it is at all ages. I have served girls as young as 11. I have served women as old as in their 70s. And the impact is the same because it's all about self and how you think and feel about yourself. I've done work for the government. I have a contract with the school district, impacting lives. I've done church groups, all kinds of faith-based kind of organizations, women's conferences, you name it, I've done it. Because when you talk about money, that is everyone. When you talk about self-esteem, that is everyone. And so no one is excluded in terms of who I can serve.
Well, there you have it, gang. The CEO of Bonafide Credit Consultants LLC, giving it to you without a chaser, and letting you know if you need to improve your credit for anything out there, please don't hesitate to give her a call. Pam, I want to thank you so much for being our special guest, and as well as you always do, you
Oh,
brought
thank
it.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.